Hi, this is Cosmetology 1120, Vicki Horton-Russian, and this is Chapter 32, Part 2. And we finished with the business plan last week, so we are moving on to purchasing an established salon. So you can purchase the assets of a salon or some or all of its stock. Any agreement to buy should include the following elements. So when you go to purchase a salon, if you purchase it with equipment already in there or it's already been a salon, then there's a few different things that will come with it. A financial audit to determine the actual value of the business once the current owner's bookings are taken out of the equation. Often a salon owner brings in the bulk of the business income, and it is unlikely you will retain all the former owner's clients without a lot of support and encouragement from the former owner. So just realize that just because they were busy doesn't mean that you will be, because usually they come in because of them. So if you have their support and they kind of work with you for a little bit and get it running to where their clients will come to you, and that, you'll always lose a few, but if you can get the majority of them, then that will help. The written purchase and sales agreement to avoid any misunderstandings between the contracting parties. Signed statements of inventory indicating the value of each article. And then investigation of a loan default, if there is a transfer of any notes, leases, etc. Confirmed identity of the owner. Believe it or not, you have to have that. There's scams all over the place. All right, also use of salon's name and reputation. Specify for what period of time. Disclosure of the client's information. Any and all information regarding the salon's clientele and its purchasing and service habits. A lot of people keep records, so all those would be involved in it. Disclosure on the facility condition. If you are buying the actual building, a full inspection is in order, and many are legalities apply. So many of the legalities, the legal stuff applies when you're buying the building, so you have to make sure that everything is checked out beforehand. Be guided by your realtor and your attorney. Non-compete agreement is stating that the seller will not work in or establish a new salon within a specified distance from the present location. And why is that? Because the clients would rather go there. Clients get used to who they go to. So employee agreements, either formal or informal, that lets you know if the current employees will stay with the business under its new ownership. Existing employee contracts should be transferable. All these are elements when you're going to purchase an established salon. And these are all things that you should think about. So you really do want to write those down. So just for your first part of this assignment, just kind of jot down how many of you guys are renting and how many are leasing your own home or own apartment. And make a list of the elements that were involved in your rental or lease agreement that you can remember. Okay, just even from memory. So just think about, and if you do have, you'll see that there's a lot of things that are familiar with the elements that you saw in purchasing somebody else's salon. I know that when we moved into our place where we are now, I took pictures of everything, because you want to take pictures of everything that's already there and then everything that you've brought in. And trust me, in 5 to 10 years, you won't remember. So it's good to take pictures and make sure that you have something that will show you what was there, okay? So that's the first part of your assignment in this for this week. It's Monday night assignment that if you missed it. Drawing up a lease. When renting or leasing a space, you must have an agreement between yourself and the building's owner that has been well thought out and well written. The lease should specify clearly who owns what and who is responsible for what, or which repairs. So if you are renting or leasing, who's responsible for these repairs? Who's responsible for those repairs? Sometimes you'll be responsible for all the repairs, and then other times they'll do certain repairs and you'll have to do certain repairs. Exemption of fixtures or appliances that might be attached to the salon so that they can be removed without violating the lease. So if you are renting or leasing and something breaks down, make sure that you can take it out and replace it with something. Options to sublease. In this way, obligations for the payment of the rent are kept separate from the responsibilities of operating the business, should you decide to bring in another person or owner. Okay, so you have to make sure all that is in the lease. Otherwise, you're going to run up into problems when you want to do something different. Okay, Protection against fire, theft, and lawsuits. Ensure that your business has adequate locks, a fire alarm system, and a burglar alarm system. Purchase liability, fire, malpractice, and burglary insurance. And do not allow these policies to lapse while you are in the business. And we're not supposed to let, just like if you're renting a car or leasing a car, you cannot let the insurance lapse. Become thoroughly familiar with all the laws governing cosmetology and nail technology and with the safety and infection control codes of your city and state. And that's how come that in our business plan that you're doing on your PowerPoint, I have you go to the city hall. That's usually where you would find the licenses, the business license for the city. Okay, you'd ask the city hall and they'll refer you to somewhere else if it's a big city and they have somewhere else that they do that. And then with the state, where you would go to your state board of cosmetology licensing is where you would get your salon license, your personal license, okay, the renewal license. So that's why all that has to be included in your PowerPoint, okay, just the license and the amount and where you got it from. Okay, keep accurate records of the number of employees, their salaries, links of employment and social security numbers as required by various state and federal laws that monitor the social welfare of workers. Know that the law, ignorance of the law is no excuse for violating it. Always check with your regulatory agency if you have any questions about a law or regulation. And you can always go to the State Board of Cosmetology Licensing website and you can see all the laws, all the rules, on that website, okay? And you have to keep good records. So if you're not a really good record keeper and you want to go into business, then you want to hire somebody that is a good record keeper, okay? So when you're looking for people to hire, that's who you would look for. Always look for those that have your weaknesses so that it will make that business be successful. Okay, business operations. Smooth salon management depends on several things. The first thing is it depends on excellent business sense. Okay, so you need a business sense. So if you don't have a good business sense, that's okay. Just find a partner who does. Good judgment and diplomacy. Okay, make sure you're good with people. Knowledge of sound business practice. And if you're not, hire somebody that is. Knowledge of sound business practices. That's why it's always good to take a couple business classes if you're thinking about owning your own salon. Much of this knowledge can be accomplished principles through networking. And we know what networking is, right? Everybody that you meet is networking. You don't know where they're going to be someday. Even the people that you go to school with, they may own a place before you do and hire you. So you always want to have a good rapport with everyone, including some salon owners who can give you advice along the way. Consider joining a local entrepreneurs group or your city's chamber of commerce in order to extend the reach of your networking. So you always want to try to extend the reach of your networking. Smooth business management depends on the following factors: sufficient investment capital. Make sure that you have capital that you can put into your business. Efficiency of management. Make sure you have good management staff put in place. Good business procedures. Make sure your procedures are lined out or put on paper. Strong computer skills. And if you don't, another thing, build a team. Cooperation between management and employees. Make sure it's a peaceful environment. Trained and experienced salon personnel. And excellent customer service delivery. Make sure that there is excellent customer service. If somebody walks in that door, somebody should always say, "Hey, how are you doing today? So good that you've come in." And then, "How can I help you?" Okay, even if you're busy in the salon, "Hey, so glad you came in. I'll be right with you." So always make sure that you acknowledge them. That's good customer service. All right, business operations, proper pricing. Okay, so make sure that whatever area that you're in, that you're pricing things according to that area. Not too high and not too low if you're new in the area. You can always go up on your prices. Okay, so, but once you lose clients, it's hard to get them back. Okay, allocation of money. So as a business operator, you must always know where your money is being spent. Always know where your money is being spent. A good accountant and an accounting system are indispensable. Somebody that is good on the business side with keeping the records and knowing where your money goes, keeping good inventory, all that kind of stuff, that will help your business. That can break you or help you. So you want to make sure that you know where everything's going. And so we've done, and I don't know if you were in Cosmetology 1000 or this class, but we've done a personal characteristics thing. We've done personal budget that you could have done. So make sure that you kind of do those and see where you are. You can even better your own personal life by having a budget and figuring out where your money goes and where you could save if you need to save a little bit of money. Proper business records are necessary to meet the requirements of the local, state, and federal laws regarding taxes and employees. Records are of value only if they are correct, concise, and complete. So records aren't no good if they're not complete, concise, and correct. Proper bookkeeping methods include keeping an accurate record of all income and expenses. Income is usually classified as receipts from services and retail sales. So keeping all the receipts, and if you're not really good at bookkeeping and you're just starting off, then just make sure that you find a system that will work for you, because there's lots of different systems out there. Just find one that will work for you. The most important part of record keeping is having the ability to defend your business in the case of an audit by the federal or state government, and to have accurate proof of all sales made and taxes paid. And that's the whole thing, that places will be audited. And if they're audited and you don't have good records, it makes you look bad already. But then you're going to have a hard time proving what you've said on your taxes. So you want to make sure that you keep, your expenses and your rent, utilities, insurance, salary, advertising, equipment repairs, retain all check stubs, canceled checks, receipts, invoices. Professional accountant or a full charge bookkeeper is recommended to help keep records accurate. And if you don't have that, just when you hire your staff, hire people that are gifted in these areas, and it will really help you out. Okay, purchase and inventory records. The purchase of inventory and supplies should be closely monitored. Maintain perpetual inventory. Prevent overstock or shortages. That's why you keep a good inventory. If you don't know what goes out and what comes in and you're just buying stuff, then there's going to be waste somewhere. Monitor theft. Is somebody taking it, or is somebody using too much? See, sometimes when people don't pay for their own products, then they'll use more than they need, because it doesn't really matter to them. They're not paying for it. So you want to make sure that if you are paying for the supplies in your salon, that everyone is conscious of how much they use and they're not wasting. Consumption supplies are used in the daily operation of the business. Okay, so that's what consumption supplies are, is it's used within the daily business. And then retail supplies, of course, are those that you sell to the clients. And we're going to stop right here. Service records. Okay, always keep service records or client cards that describe treatments given and merchandise sold to each client. Using a salon-specific software program for this purpose is highly recommended. All service records should include the name and address of the client, the date of each purchase or service, the amount charged, and the products used, and the results obtained. So you need to really keep good records on every client. Don't be so quick that you don't find out what they bought, what they've sold. Number one, it makes you look good for when they come in next time. You're not trying to sell them the same thing that you sold them 2 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, okay? And that you're not trying to sell them something else if they like what they have. So you want to make sure you have a good rapport. You want to make sure you have good records. All right, so in the second part of this assignment, I just want you to think about what you consider the things that you pay just in your personal life. Your rent, your utilities, groceries, doctor bills, and kind of list them. And just, so this one you really don't have to turn into me. Just let me know that you did it, okay, in the assignment. But just kind of think about your own, because it's more important to do a real good job in our personal records than even in our business records. If you do it in your personal records, then you'll do it in your business records. And if you're not good at it, then hopefully if you have a husband, my husband's better at finances than I am now. I did finances all my life until I married my husband. And he does a better job, so I let him do it. So, and he keeps really good records. So good, sometimes he aggravates me, but he keeps really good records. But it's a good thing. And if you're not really good with that, just find a system that works for you. Research it. It's really important to begin to grow in that area, especially if you want to have a business someday. And then, of course, so I want you to put the elements that are involved in purchasing a salon for your assignment, also with this thing, and explain each one. Okay, so the elements involved in purchasing or leasing a salon, all the elements involved, and then tell me about each one. Okay, and that'll be the Monday night assignment, because I said one earlier also. And then the other one's your personal one, okay, that you don't have to turn in or upload for me. For this assignment, this will be for 10/19/20. for Cosmetology 1120 for the fall semester.